What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Duran, and we're here to talk more Celtics basketball as the Boston Celtics advance to the 2022 NBA Finals. I think those are words that I never thought I'd be saying. After a 12-year drought, the Boston Celtics have finally gotten over the hump with this core group and Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Al Horford. And just overall, so proud of this group and where we saw this team kind of come together and this core really come together. We've seen Jason Tatum when he was drafted, seeing Jaylen Brown on his draft night, just thinking about that from that point all the way up until now. I mean, Jaylen Brown was booed on draft night, for goodness gracious. And to see them now advance and make this huge achievement, I mean, it was just butterflies. I couldn't stop smiling watching that team get their trophy. I've watched the trophy ceremony at least 20 times since last night, and I just can't stop smiling, man. I'm so happy that this core finally got over the hump, finally made it to the NBA Finals after one of the most anxiety-filled series with the Miami Heat. Just a team that's been a thorn in our side for what seems like forever now since LeBron was playing with them. But oh my God, let's just talk about this game 7. Celtics come out on fire. They kind of start to fall off a little bit. I thought Jimmy just started getting going in the second quarter. I think he had like 18 points. Third quarter, kind of even. In fourth quarter, I mean, he still came back out and just competed and kept his team in there. I found a new respect for Jimmy Butler as a player overall. I've always viewed Jimmy Butler as a guy that was kind of middling as a player. I didn't think he was this upper echelon player that people hype him to be. And just watching him in this playoffs and in this postseason, I just found so much of a new respect. Because you just have to understand that there are some guys in this league that turn it on when the postseason gets there, and they're not necessarily that worried about regular season and everything about that. So Jimmy Butler is also just one of those players. You just have to wait to the postseason for them to see them truly perform. And I do think this is the best version of Jimmy Butler I've ever seen, to be honest with you. I think that he was better. I think this version is better than what he was even in 2020 when they went to the NBA Finals. I think he's smarter. He might not be more athletic, but he's so cerebral in his attack to the game. You just have to respect it. And, he drove us crazy for 7 games when he just pretty much almost took the Miami Heat to the NBA Finals by himself. You got Kyle Lowry coming into the season completely out of shape. He looks like he gained 15 pounds each single game that we saw him. He literally looked like he gained weight. Kyle Lowry is a player that the Miami Heat are going to have to address. It's either get in shape or we're going to have to move on. I think that the Miami Heat are a scary team because I don't necessarily think they're that far away from a real championship core in a championship formula. I think if they added a player like Bradley Beal, I heard that on First Take this morning, I think they would be a really good team. I really do. I think that if they added a player like Bradley Beal, they would be a championship worthy and contending team. Just not enough scoring, but overall, they're a really good team. Bam Adebayo is a good player. I think there's something to build there. He just kind of has to change his mindset a little bit. Bam Adebayo as a player, his mindset is that of a role player. And I don't know if he understands, but he's better. He has much more talent than that of a role player. He has to kind of elevate his mindset just a little bit as his role starts to grow, and he's going to get more. I think next year you're going to see him. That's going to be like their big thing. They're going to give him so much more next year to do. They're going to give him so much more responsibility because they want him to be a better player than what he is right now. They want him to have a better mindset. I think Bam Adebayo is going to come back next year a better player, but the Miami Heat really need to, in my opinion, I would package some of these players, Max Struss, the Caleb, whatever his name is, the other kid, the twin. I would package some way to get rid of Kyle Lowry and then find a better player. I really do think that they're close. They just really got to figure out how they're going to get this next secondary star to kind of be in the in-between that's going to level them out. As a Celtics fan, I hope they don't do that. But just, as an NBA fan, I think they're actually closer than people are going to give them credit for it. I don't think they're just old. I think they are able to get back to the mountaintop. And I just have a newfound respect for them after playing a whole 7-game series. I did not think the Miami Heat were that good of a team until you play them, until you see how well they're coached. Getting back to the Boston Celtics, this is a monumental moment. You talk about being built and not bought. I mean, that is just one of those things that not a lot of teams can say they've done throughout the entire, when you're talking about team roster building and all of that, a lot of franchises have taken the cheap way out. They bought teams, they've traded, they've made super teams. But that Golden State Warriors, the Boston Celtics, very much mirror and buy into that. Listen, we are bought, like we are built, not bought. We're built. Like our team is drafted. Like these are core guys that we've built, and I'm just so proud of this team. I really am proud. I'm so proud to get over this hump. So much heartbreak going from the 2020 season. I mean, just against the Miami Heat in the bubble. I mean, the 2021 season, which was, this technically counts the 2021 season, but the season after the bubble where we just kind of were middling and we're just 500, and then coming into this season, it's just, and we were still middling all the way into December. I mean, December was probably the worst month of basketball I've ever watched. Just to be honest with you, I think we had the debacle of the Chicago game, and then right after that in January, we had the debacle of the New York game, and then just so many blown leads. I mean, just so many games just to get to this moment. I would have never even categorize it, imagine it. Watching the Celtics at one point was like getting out of bed to go to work on a Monday morning. Like it wasn't fun. It was a chore, and we were pretty much doing it out of fandom. At that point, I was watching and torturing myself out of fandom, just trying to find something with this team that I could latch onto that I liked. And, honestly, you start to see this team really buy into Ime Udoka. You have to give a shout out to Ime Udoka. He's done such a good thing. He's done such a good job with this team. I mean, there's a ton of things that he built culture-wise, and just this team having a mindset of being mentally tough and trying to figure it out. I mean, they have lapses. I mean, that game 6 at home, that was brutal, man. That was brutal. And just to lose like that. But at the same time, them coming back, going on the road, winning the game 7, it makes up for it, in my opinion. It makes up for it. People want to continue to harp on that game 6. I get it. But be in mind, Jimmy Butler scored 47 points, and the Celtics still almost had a chance to win that. And whenever a star player is just on like that, there's nothing you can really do about it. There's nothing you can really do about it. Of course, there were some things they could have done better. I felt like the turnover situations of game 6, they could have been better about. But overall, I felt like the Heat straight up just took that game. I just want to give credit to the Miami Heat for the game 6. Like, they just straight up took that game. I don't think it was more of a sense of the Celtics just didn't show up to play. I know I said it was awful, but I think that the Miami Heat just wanted it more. And that's more of what I'm saying. Like, the Miami Heat wanted it more, and they came out there and played, and they earned it. So you want to give credit to them, but I don't want to stay and harp on game 6. Game 7, they came out mentally tough. I mean, that Jimmy Butler 3 at the end gave me goosebumps. I was just like, no, that is the last shot that you wanted him to take. I was just like, please don't do this. And I knew it was coming. I was like, what if he did it? And then he started like shuffling his feet. You're like, oh my God. And he shot it and he bricked, and Jaylen Brown tipped it. And then we got the rebound by Al Horford. And I can remember just jumping up and so much excitement and yelling, we're going to the NBA Finals. I mean, this is awesome. This is what we wanted. I mean, the championship Tatum era has officially began. No more talks of, can this duo work? No more talks of, can Jason Tatum lead a team to the NBA Finals? No more. It's over. They can do it. We don't have to hear no more of those talks. We don't have to hear anything about Marcus Smart being traded. We don't have to hear any of that anymore, guys. It's over. This team works. I feel so vindicated as a fan. It's just watching this team and being a fan and in love with these guys. It's just been a great run, a great playoff run, a one to remember. And wow, now we have the Golden State Warriors. We have the Golden State Warriors, a dynasty that is trying to continue, one of the most likable franchises with the most likable superstar in all of NBA. And we have to go there and play them, and we have to go there and compete. And I think we match up really well with the Golden State Warriors. I mean, size-wise, I think our switching attack works very well with a jump shooting team like them. Like the media is trying to paint it as if the Warriors are these juggernaut. Listen, the Warriors are a great team, and they definitely deserve to be the favorites in the NBA Finals. Give them credit. They definitely deserve that. They have championship experience. They have championship pedigree. But don't try to discredit Boston and say that we kind of don't have any business being here. That's where it kind of feels like it's painting, is like, this is such a lopsided it's not a lopsided matchup. Like, the only edge I would give Golden State, honestly, is one, their half court offense, and then two, just their experience. But overall, I think that we're pretty evenly matched in a ton of areas. And I think we match up very well because of our size. I think Rob Williams, this is going to be a Rob Williams series. I think Rob Williams is going to dominate in this series, honestly. And I also think Al Horford's going to dominate in this series. I think our bigs are going to have a really good series this game. And respect to Golden State's bigs, especially Kevon Looney. But I just feel like the size of, like, when I watched the replay of the regular season, I'm not saying the regular season matchups matter that much, but honestly, Kevon Looney just did not phase Al Horford or Rob Williams. They pretty much dominated and did whatever they wanted. And I'm not saying that that's going to be necessarily what it is every single game, but it's not like that's a bad matchup. I think that's a favorable matchup for them. I think they're going to have a really good series. Jaylen Brown versus Klay Thompson. I think we have an edge there. I don't think Klay Thompson is the same defender that he used to be. Definitely still solid, but those injuries have taken a toll. They have. And I don't think that he's the same defender that he used to be. He's going to be given the task of guarding Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown all series. And I think that's going to wear on him. Honestly, I think it's going to wear on him. And I think it's going to have an effect it's going to have an effect on his impact on the offensive end for Golden State if they're going to continue to ask him to chase around Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. I really do. And then we talk about one of the most pivotal matchup, Marcus Smart versus Steph Curry. And Marcus Smart traditionally has done a solid job defensively against Steph Curry. Like, it's not like that's just going to be Steph going crazy. Like, again, Steph can go crazy because he is a transcendent player when he gets in that mode. But I'm saying it's not like we don't have anybody that can get up to him. And we have someone who traditionally has some type of history of being successful defensively against Steph. And I like Marcus Smart, Defensive Player of the Year, for a reason. So we need to look at that. Look, that's going to be a good matchup. That, like, I'm not saying that that's in Boston, but listen, it's a matchup. That's a conversation. That's something that needs to be looked at. I think Boston in this series is definitely going to push Golden State. I have Boston winning this series in 7. 1, fandom. 2, I love our size. I do. My only thing is how healthy is Boston going to be in this series? How healthy is Boston going to be in this series? And how much can Golden State really output offensively against this defense? How much can they output offensively? Like, I want to see what is Golden State's peak, because if their peak is 100 points, if their peak is 110 points, like, how good is their peak going to be in this series? I think that's going to be fun. I think this series is going to be fun. And I hope to be with you guys soon. We're talking about game 1 is this Thursday, so we'll be here talking about it. As always, guys, I have nothing left for the video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.